What happens when you're wandering around the supermarket and you hear yourself singing through the intercom, the PA system?
I ignore it.
I heard myself singing the other day and I hid behind the bread. It's so embarrassing.
Oh, because
Do you handle it all right?
I just act like I can't hear it and I literally tune it out. I tune it out. Sometimes I don't even know it's me because I haven't heard these songs. Like once I'm like...
For so long.
I was sitting there going, I know this song. And I was like, idiot.
Do you look at some of your old videos or songs and you think, oh my God, what was I thinking? Do you?
I have some of the worst embarrassing moments. I think that I probably would go down in history or having some of the worst video clips ever in history.
Do you think,
style.
what the hell am I wearing?
What my hair was, what I was wearing. I was like,
It's
Lord.
funny, isn't it? Do you think your best song is always the last one you've done?
Yeah. And I feel like I'm just in an era and a season of like not just my life but my music. I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm very matter of fact about it, and like I'm very conscious that this is gonna live on forever.
Stan Walker, singer, actor,
Taliman was the water people.
The water people?
model, entrepreneur. He's put himself out there. There's been a documentary about his near-death experience.
3 years ago, yesterday, I got my gut out.
A 6-part reality TV series. An autobiography at just 30 years old.
And going back there, it's a beautiful reminder of where I come from.
Countless interviews, a huge catalogue of songs, music videos that feature his wife and children. So what advice would Stan Walker give to newbies?
I'm very blessed, don't get me wrong, but it's been a hard 15 years. But I always say to people now, if it stops making you happy, don't do it.
Stan Walker!
In 2009, Stan won the final season of Australian Idol and secured a record deal worth thousands of dollars. Black Box reached #1 in Aotearoa, earning triple platinum sales. But that kind of success and industry support can be a double-edged sword.
I realised real quick they didn't want me, they didn't want my culture, they didn't want my whakapapa, they didn't want my stories, they wanted my voice, and my voice became theirs and literally owned by them.
Before you sing, that is one of my all-time favourite songs ever.
In 2013, Stan ended up a judge on New Zealand X Factor.
That was perfection.
Perfection.
That was absolute perfection.
I think my life started changing then, really, what am I up to? I'm here mentoring these people and trying to tell them, be authentic, be yourself, and I'm like, I'm talking a whole accent in Australia so that people can understand me. So when I did Aotearoa, and Mātai approached me to do a waiatareo Māori, I was scared, but I was excited. Up until that point, I didn't think I would ever be able to sing in our native tongue, in Māori. And that just opened everything.
That's not a physical barrier, you're talking about the industry kind of barrier.
I started out as a singer and I had to learn everything. I had to learn who I was as an artist and what I wanted to do. Because that always find a way to make you feel less than if you were proud to be Māori, if that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense to me, Stan.
Yeah.
I was born by the river.
In 2015, he released his 5th album, full of songs written by other people. 2 years later, he dropped a new song with its unapologetically Māori video. It marked a turn in his career. He's been on a roll ever since.
It's like I am as the reclamation of identity.
So your songs are very anthemic. Is that deliberate?
I'm kind of like a theatrical, dramatic person in
Yes.
general. Like, I am dramatic. So these songs are the reflection of how I am feeling and how I've been connected and reconnected to our land, to the people, to our language. And so I write it as I feel it.
What is the point? What do you want to happen?
Always the point and always the purpose for me is always to bring hope, life, healing and joy through my music, through whatever I'm doing, the stories that I'm telling, through representation in videos, through everything of who I am as an artist, as a storyteller, as a papa, as a husband. I'm just like, yeah, damn, this is what God has called me to do. This is like my purpose. Because even before stage, sometimes, depending on where I'm at in my life, in my head, I'm like, oh, here we go, let's just get through this, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I walk out there and I'm like, damn.
Right, I'm in the moment.
Yeah.
In the moment,
Yes.
eh?
And I honestly have to shut my mouth up in my head. And I'm there to serve. And when I serve wholeheartedly, then I'm getting served, if that makes sense.
That's a nice way to look at it, as opposed to going out there and that the people are serving you, which I would imagine some artists do. It's a kind of an ego thing.
Yeah, true. Nah, I think I'm too serious about my stuff that I can't even be affected with my voice before going on stage. I can't even have a sip of alcohol or anything like that, because if I do that, then I'm ripping people off.
More from Stan Walker after the break.
That stage and that performance and being a part of Te Re Ana Morehu o Rātara was one of the best things I've ever experienced in my life, especially on Atamira.
Why was that?
Because I got to be a part of something that was more than myself. I wasn't the face, I was a part of something that was so much greater than me.
You did step out front though, and it was kind of like if I rolled up in all black to the Waitutoko Marae team for the Tūkara Power Wars. You're so flash and you pop out the front.
Honestly, I was cracking up.
Was it challenging? Did you find it challenging?
Hardest training I've ever done, but it was challenging because I had to do things I've never done before. And I felt like I was like I was the odd one out because I didn't grow up in hakas. I got taken, my dad literally found out I was doing kapaka, I had to do it secretly, and he came and in front of everybody he dragged me out. So I had a lot of trauma with it, and I always wanted to be a part of it, like just at high school. But I was like, oh, let's just give it a go to Matatini.
I could never do that.
And I didn't want to stick out.
Well, you did stick out at a certain point, but I think you're meant to stick out. I think you're meaning to say you don't want to stick out in a stink way, eh?
Yes, because I was like, man, everybody, this is what they do. They live and breathe it. And I didn't. I lived and breathed being a performing artist and doing body rolls, not doing haka on stage. You know?
In his autobiography, Stan revealed a love-hate relationship with his father Ross, a man Stan once described as a ticking time bomb. It was the family's eventual conversion to Christianity that proved transformational. Journalist Tania Page spoke to Ross in 2020.
Ross, what's it like for you to know the damage you caused?
Kind of turned me upside down too. Try not to let those things trying to haunt me and let those things come in at all.
Ross passed away 2 days before this year's Aotearoa Music Awards.
I know that my dad was the biggest clout chaser. His name on TikTok was Stan Walker's dad. I want to dedicate this award to my papa. And our whole journey with my dad has been a hard one, but I had so much empathy and love for him because of the life that he had lived his whole thing. He had to learn how to be a dad after he already had 5 kids. He had to learn how to be a dad, and he had to keep learning how to be a dad. He had to learn, he had to restart every time, because he would, in our humanness, say, we resort back to what we know and what we've been brought up in, and the trauma and stuff like that. And there was a lot of like learnings and having to grow and healing, like even till like he died. The last 2 weeks of his life was beautiful, but it was hard. It was like.
Did you talk about it? Did you talk about it?
Yeah, no. The last 2 weeks, it was like the first time I really connected as a man, as a dad, to my dad, and we just loved each other, you know. And those last 2 weeks were beautiful, but I was like, man, I wish we got there earlier.
Did you inherit any of his tendencies or traits, do you think?
Yes, unfortunately. We've got, me and my family, we've got a pretty ruthless little switch, which I hate.
How do you cope with that?
And I've learnt, and I'm still learning how to deal with it and how to deal with, to breathe, to shut my mouth, go out and just breathe. I'm all good with like not being all good, and I'm all good when I'm wrong, and I'm all good that I know that, okay, I've got to work on this, and I've got heaps of things to work on in my life.
But you've worked out some tools to deal with it.
Yeah, and I'm still working on it.
Both Stan and his mother, April, share a rare cancer-causing mutant gene which has led to the death of at least 25 of their family members.
I had so much hope yesterday. Today is a different day. I don't have that hope I did yesterday. I'm just like, I feel defeated.
What frightens me about it is that, you know, like, 'cause my father had the same operation and they couldn't connect his esophagus back to his bowel because it was weak. And I know Stan, you know, is young and healthy and strong and stuff, but, you know, still very, you know.
Everything's going wrong. Everything. I don't think I can mentally handle it.
Stan had his stomach successfully removed.
So when you came out of that, was there clarity about what you wanted to do and how you wanted to be?
Yes. In that time of my life, I was more clear about who I was going to be, where I was heading, what it looked like, what it felt like, what it sounded like. I came out like kind of like all guns blazing.
We trust you, Lord God, with our baby, Lord. And we thank you, Father in heaven, that you just keep him safe in Jesus' name.
It appears you have a very deep Christian faith, but also you're become immersed in te ao Māori. How do you strike the balance between the two?
I'm comfortable as in it. I don't have, there's nothing that goes against each other for me, because the way I see it, I know that God had made us Māori for a specific, like on purpose. He made me Māori. I could have been anything else, Brazilian, and that is my purpose, knowing who I am, where I come from. I get the mama, I get the hurt, what colonisation did and what religion did to our people and to Indigenous people all around the world. But I'm not talking about that same Jesus that has blue eyes and my own personal relationship. That's what I hold on to.
So you've got 3 tamariki. How are you preparing them for te ao?
We're doing a lot in our whānau to undo the stuff that has been done to both Lou and I in our upbringings. The trauma, the intergenerational trauma. And we've had to make some hard decisions with our family and protecting our family and boundaries. My family is my wife and kids. They will always be number one. And I think people don't understand that until I have to cut them off.
Well, people within your whānau.
People within the whānau, you know, and stuff like that. And we're just at different places and different levels, but I'll do anything to protect my family. I always think about it like all the stuff that is just say happened to me. The physical stuff, I can't remember. Whether it was hidings or being sexually abused or whatever, I can't remember the feeling. It's gone. I can't even remember. I'm like, oh, I got scars and whatever. It's the mental abuse. It's the stuff that's said over your life, spoken over your life. I will do everything and anything to protect my family. They are everything, the best versions of us.
Stan Walker, proud to be part of a movement.
Doesn't matter what's happening in this political climate, what's been taken away from us, what's been shut down, all these things, I'm still going to do what I want to do. And when they try and say that they're, they're taking away our culture in so many different ways, their kids are singing my songs. I've had the honour and the privilege that a few of my songs are Tua, Aotearoa, and now have been every school's end of year anthem.
Lovely.
And that's me, because that's, if I can inspire people, then you can educate them.
Why don't you grab the guitar and inspire us now, and I can sit here and go, wow.
Then you'll hear my guitar, you're like, oh.
Are you not a flash guitarist either?
Oh, it's a tin-ta-ring-gakin, tin-ting-ta-ring-gakin.
There's no, I'm a jinga-jig.
Yes, I know. Oh, people go, oh, just bring your guitar. I was like, no, I don't think you understand. I don't play guitar.
Do you do all those little exercises before you go on stage?
Always have to.
Really?
I have to do
What sort of exercises do you do?
Stretch the neck.
Stretch the neck.
Couple of push-ups.
Show me these things. I don't know these things. You go like that?
Yeah, make sure that the vocals are opening up.
By going like that?
Yeah, right.
Really?
Yeah, there. There's the... That, and gosh, what else do I do?
Wow.
And I have to always test how big I can sing, so I'll shout, scream, but I'll warm up first so I don't just like crack it open and then it cracks.
So you don't have a shot of vodka?
Nah.
Okay.
Nah, but I can never be affected by anything. It's just a cup of tea with milk and honey.
That is so rock and roll, isn't it? What a disgrace to the industry.
So yeah, I have to have my cup of tea.
Did you not get into the alcohol and drugs and stuff?
No. Oh, I've been there. I've had my moments.
Yeah.
I've had my times.
Pulled yourself back?
Oh man,
Did you ever go on stage off your trolley?
Never.
Wow.
Never. I've never ever done that. I never would. But I've had my downfalls, and I've gone into my pits, and I'm a binger of things. I'm an addict for things. I can't do things half-hearted. So when I go in for something, it's all in.
Okay, give us a couple of lines then. Let's see how you've done your warm-up.
Where did I go wrong? Thought that I would be okay. Wasn't meant to go this way. Now I gotta find myself. Yeah. Everything is changing, I'm the one to blame. Never felt the same as I did that day. Yeah, should've given more, but there was before I couldn't give my all, so I walked away. Oh, it's too high now, I can't breathe.
Have a lie down, Koro.
I was like, oh.